Greetings, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube. I am Charles Taylor, and as battered as my friend Patrick Brackett is, he's here with us. Say what's up, Patrick, in your weekend state.
What's up, everybody?
My man's not feeling too good. So, that tells you how he's down for the cause, how he's down to help. So, of course, Patrick, before we start, man, I gotta say thanks for you to getting on the show with me because I know you're not feeling too well. I really appreciate this.
Not a problem, man. We get it. And I'll go to bed. I'm good.
All right, well, let's get started, man. So, we got a few topics we're gonna cover, but before we get to those, hey, the Washington Capitals just won the Stanley Cup, and Patrick,
About time.
right, and both of us have been critical of the Capitals, but I I kind of sensed something different when they were finally able to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just seemed like that was that barrier. And even though they had a 7-game series with the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals, there was something different. You remember what we had said a couple of years ago when we were talking about the Penguins and Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin just settling down and playing hockey and just breaking through whatever tags that was on them. Well, mostly the soft tag. Well, the Capitals had the tag of not being able to break through, not being able to get past the Western or the Eastern Conference semifinals, cracking in the big moment. All those Game 7 losses they had at home, and they finally broke by the Penguins and won a Game 7 in Tampa on the way. And they beat the Vegas Golden Knights, who had a great season, by the way, for their first season. Beat them in 5 games. So credit to the Washington Capitals and to Alex Ovechkin. I am actually glad to finally see him hoist Lord Stanley's Cup. How you feel about
it? Well, how do I follow that, Charles?
Oh, my bad.
You said everything that needed to be said, man. I don't really have anything to say. You covered it. Except for congratulations. I'm finally glad to see Ovechkin finally get his Stanley Cup, man, because he's been really pushing for that thing for several years now, and he's finally got it. So it's good to see him to finally raise the cup. But other than that, man, the Game 7, I just want to touch on that Game 7 in Tampa, man, because that right there was the telling moment around what the Caps can do when they're ready to play. I mean, we've been saying it for years. This is probably one of the statistical best teams that's ever hit the ice, but always broke under pressure. Couldn't win the Game 7. Well, pressure came against the Lightning. Pressure came against the Penguins, and they didn't break, they didn't buckle, and they won that Game 7 in Tampa. So, congratulations to them. But I'd also have to say, man, a huge congratulations to the Golden Knights for making it all the way to the Stanley Cup for their first year as well. So it was good. It was a good series. I just got to watch a little bit here and there, mostly working. So, but it was good to see that. I mean, it was good, clean hockey. It was nice to see it.
And Patrick, real quick, also the Capitals were down 2-0 in the first round to the Columbus Blue Jackets, losing those first 2 games at home, and they came back and won 4 straight. So I don't know where this toughness came from. I guess when you go through failures, having the best record and winning what they call it, is it the President's Cup for the best record in the National Hockey League? So yeah, it's appreciated. Then having those seasons, those great seasons, and coming up short, I guess after a while, you just get hardened up to it. I guess you start to develop a toughness because you've been through the lowest of lows in sports terms. And now here you are, not too many people counting you out. And you feel like you're playing with house money. And I think the Capitals just kind of took advantage of that, used all that for the fuel to the fire, and here they are, hoisted Stanley's Cup. So.
I'd agree, man. I mean, when you lose all those games in the past, and like you said, playing with house money at that point, if you're already counted out, that makes for a dangerous team. Nobody expects you to win. So if you're not expected to win, most of the teams even don't expect you to win because they're like, well, you're a one and done. You're getting bounced in the first round. So, I mean, we've talked about it many times, many times. Best thing about hockey, man, is there's very little talent gap. Very, very little. You can come in as a first seed. You can come in as a eighth
seed,
and 8 seeds can win because the talent gap is not big in hockey. That's one. Two, we always said it, and we'll continue to say it. Goalie gets hot, that makes for a very strong team. So Washington Capitals goalie got really hot during that Blue Jackets series. I mean, I think he even done a shutout twice in those 4 games that they won. So hot goalie and people counting you out makes for a very dangerous team. And like we said before, like I said earlier, man, it's the talent gap. There's very little talent gap. So one first seed could win, and 8 seed could win.
All right. Yep. And yeah, congrats. Yeah, congrats to the Washington Capitals for winning the Stanley Cup. Now it's Ovechkin, that first one as well. Well, Patrick, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the NBA Finals. And I mean, is there really too much to talk about? I mean, Golden State is up 3-0. I guess the question is, does it end Friday? Is this a sweep? Or is it prologue till Monday? Because we both have the Warriors in 5. So
I mean, I looked at it like this. I had the Warriors in 5, and I thought single game that they were going to win, if they had any chance to win in any of these games, would have been game 1. Yeah, I know that was in Golden State, but if you're going to punch Golden State in the mouth, game 1 is when you do it. And they punched them in the mouth. They kicked them in the mouth. They tried everything they could possibly do, and Golden State didn't stop. I mean, yeah, you have a crazy play by J.R. Smith, but you know, me and you've talked about this 100 times. If we haven't talked about it a million, that J.R. Smith play, that doesn't happen if George Hill hits the free throw, point blank. I mean, everybody's making memes about J.R. Smith. Maybe make some memes about George Hill and his stupidity. Can't even hit a damn free throw. That's when you get paid. Right there, hit a free throw. That's when you get paid. Not because J.R. Smith runs out. And don't get me wrong, I've said this 100,000 times too. I'm not a J.R. Smith fan either. I think he's crap. But it doesn't change the fact that they shouldn't be giving him all the blame when George Hill, 82% free throw shooter, should be hitting that shot. It ends Friday. It ends Friday.
So calling it sweep, huh?
I mean, if you look, you got 4 All-Stars on one team, and you got another All-Star on one team. That's 4 against 1. LeBron James getting jumped. But you know what? No pity. I don't care. He shouldn't have picked that team. He the one that picked it. What do we call him? Tyron LeBron.
Yeah, it's Tyron James.
Tyron Lanes. That's his name. Tyron Lanes. They picked their team. Lay in your bed and sleep in it. You shouldn't have picked it. I don't feel sorry for him at all, but at the same time, it's a sweep. It ends Friday. Golden State's too good. I mean, for me, Golden State, it's a win or bust.
You think, I mean, with Golden State and It's a team they have. They just continue to cut. They have a lot of firepower. And when you're looking at Game 3, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were combined 3 of 15 from 3-point land. Curry himself was 1 of 10 from 3-point land. And Golden State still wins that game because they have Kevin Durant who can get loose, and he got loose for 43 points. And they still shot 52% from the field as a team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot you could really do in that situation.
Brothers go 3 for 27, and you still shot 52% from the field.
Yeah, it's just that's scary. Scary the amount of firepower they have there, and also, like you said, with LeBron James, I know people are coming now, and it's true. Because it does look like it's him and the rest of the guys out there, on a lot of occasions during the playoffs and here during the finals. But yes, this is a team that he wanted, and the management tries to please everything LeBron wants. So now everybody's saying, "Oh, he should leave. He should leave." He's leaving the team that he had a hand in picking. Please. And you're not going to sit here and tell me it's all management. You're not going to sit here and tell me LeBron does not have a say-so. There are people who will say that, Patrick. There are people who will say, oh, no, man, LeBron is just a player. He doesn't say anything.
Dookie look.
Right.
You ready? Dookie
look. So
LeBron has every word to say in every pick. It's the reason why J.R. Smith gets paid $16 million when he's worth $5.50.
Hey, don't forget about Tristan Rebound with his $15-16 million a year.
$15 million a game. I give him $750.
I don't give him that. Stick of gum.
That's Kyle Korver. Actually, Kyle Korver's paying me to play on that team.
Kyle Korver, I think, is he's better than J.R. Smith.
He's probably the most consistent out of the three.
Kyle Korver, the one thing I like about Kyle Korver is at least he competes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have too many brain farts. Like J.R. Smith consistently has brain farts. Kyle Korver comes out there, he knows what he's supposed to do. You rarely see him. Kyle Korver's not going to get beat because of lapses or a lack of effort. He might get beat because of a lack of athleticism, but he's going to come out there and compete. He doesn't have those lapses J.R. Smith has. J.R. Smith has colossal lapses.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, Patrick, I think you said it right, man. There's not too much to really say about this series. The series is over.
It was over in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't ready to say that it was. Psychologically, that is a blow. Don't get me wrong. I mean, psychologically, that is a tough loss to come back from. But at least I knew Cleveland would fight. It's not like they're Toronto.
Oh, good point.
So, you knew
Toronto's that type. They get slapped in the face and they roll over to let you pet their belly.
Yeah. So you knew Toronto was, you knew they were done. They're mentally weak. No type of heart. Yeah. Cleveland at least they've been there to the finals and stuff, so you knew they would try to fight back at least. It's just Golden State just has too much firepower. So yeah, series over, and I'll stick with the prediction because that's what I said originally was Warriors in 5, but I did also say I wouldn't be surprised if it was in 4. So, which is what you said as well. So.
Yeah. But I mean, look, I'll say Golden State in 5 all day long. I also say Golden State in 4 all day long too, because it's over. I mean, I'll stick to my original prediction too. I mean, I have no problem with that. I'll let Cleveland have one game. Yeah, they blew their chances, man. I mean, in that game 1, they had their chances and they blew them. Cleveland hasn't scored a shot over 50% in the entire series. LeBron James is accounted for 55 to 60% of your offensive production and 5 to 10% of your defense production, because they say he needs to rest on defense so he can play offense. Shut up. 1, 2, and you know it's coming because it's about to come, ESPN, you piece of crap. Even though Golden State wins, LeBron James should be all-star. Up yours.
MVP.
Oh, MVP, whichever. I'm tired. Anyway, come on. That dude, look, what's the definition of an MVP? A person that helps your team win. He can't win.
Hey, Patrick, say it again. Just sound it out. The last word.
Win.
All right, I just wanted that.
It's hard, ESPN, I know, because his penis is just so freaking long and you got to ride it. I get it, but still. Oh God! And then I can't stand ESPN. They just need to get off there.
Hey, Patrick, you know what's coming. Look. Do I have to replay the famous Mike Breen?
Yes, you do.
Okay, all right. So here it comes, Patrick.
Here it comes.
When Cleveland loses, because it's gonna happen. Cleveland loses, and LeBron James is taking that magical walk back to his locker room after the loss. You know what question's coming. Is this the last time LeBron James ever wears a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey? He's going to do the famous, I'm going to pull off the jersey as soon as I get into the tunnel. And so
yes, this is the last time he wears it. And this will be the very last time he wears a Cleveland jersey, because honestly, I don't think Cleveland will let him back. Then again, they let him back the first time. I wouldn't have came back. Sold the team like that to get him back. It's such a it's and then on top of that, his contracts that he has put in. Oh, I'll give you 4 years with an option to opt out after 3 months of the first year. Show a little bit more commitment, D-bag.
Hey, he's a businessman, Patrick. You know that. He's a businessman first. And look, you and I have said this. We don't hit the business aspect of it. We don't necessarily have a problem with it. What we're saying is, do not be upset if a team finally decides, hey, look, man, we're not going to deal with this. It's either you commit or you can move on, whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what Cleveland did with those trades. They were basically saying to themselves, we'll put together a young core. Does it look like, from looking at the playoffs, they were ready for the moments a lot of times, but it is something they can build around in the event LeBron leaves. Not saying they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, but at least they have a young core they could start to build around if LeBron leaves. And I guess they're looking at it like it's a bonus if he stays. If not, okay.
Yeah.
Bye. I mean, I think they're pretty used to LeBron now. That's pretty much where I'm at with it.
I agree. I mean, they're waiting for him to leave. Personally, I think the whole world's waiting for him to leave. But you know, when they made all the trades earlier in the season, I still love the trades, because what the trades did was it set Cleveland up for success past LeBron James. Now, like you said, they're not going to get it in the first year. They may not get it in the second year, but a good couple of trades, a few more trades, get some people that are a little bit more, get a little bit more production. And I mean, you're not paying, you get out of those contracts, because I mean, come on, let's be honest. J.R. Smith, $16 million a year, that's not worth it. Tristan Thompson making $16 million a year, that's not worth it. Kyle Korver, $14 million a year, for what? 15 at max, 15 points a game. Come on, that's max. I mean, that's his ceiling. So I don't see putting those kind of contracts in place is what's going to help Cleveland. So if they do lose LeBron James, good thing Kyle Korver is only on a 1-year contract, so his contract's up at the end of this season, and I think J.R. Smith is done at the end of next season. So I think they're in a very good position to to put something together and make a good run without LeBron James in about 2 or 3 years.
Real quick, if I'm Cleveland and LeBron leaves, I just start cutting the weight. I just start cutting it. Like I'll eat the contract at this point. J.R. Smith gone. Tristan Thompson probably gone. I know it's a hit, but you were going to pay him anyway. Right. You were going to pay him anyway. I mean, you signed him to those deals, and in the NBA, I mean, those contracts are pretty much on the books. They're pretty much guaranteed unless you are able to trade them. The problem is I don't know who's going to take J.R. Smith. Nobody's probably going to take J.R. Smith if you offered him a trade. Probably not going to take Tristan Thompson if you offered him a trade. So you know what? Just slice.
I don't know, man. You probably get something for Tristan Thompson. You probably get like maybe a 3rd or 4th round draft pick for him.
Then the NBA does not have 3rd and 4th round draft picks.
Well, they only have 2, don't they? That's right.
Yes. So nothing. Cash considerations.
Maybe they come up. Maybe they ask Cleveland, we're going to give you a 3rd round draft pick. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's right. They only have 2.
Oh boy.
Well,
it's all good, Patrick. You're sick, man. You're playing hurt tonight. So well, hey man, let's move it on, man. Yeah, it's all good. Time out, right? I got you. Nah, man. Let's move on, man, and let's talk about this Julian Edelman suspension. So he's been suspended for 4 games by the NFL for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug, or PEDs for short, policy. So my question is this. He's appealing this suspension. What and why are they appealing? What is going on for the appeal? Am I missing something, Patrick? Help me understand. Because you get popped. Excuse me. Oof, had a hiccup there. You get popped. And these guys automatically go and appeal. And then it comes out, oh, well, I was taking this pain medication, or I was taking this supplement that had this hidden whatever, this hidden vitamin or this hidden something that was on their list of banned substances. So why? I don't know. Help me understand. I don't get the appeal, because to me, it's pretty clear. Now, I'll say it's probably clear in MLB and probably even in the NBA, because the NBA, you basically have to come out. You basically have to be just smoked out, and that still might not even be enough in the NBA without getting suspended or something.
Yeah.
But in the MLB, it's pretty clear. The NFL, I'll say this about them. It seems like there's probably a gray area, because it seems like there's a gray area with everything in the NFL because of the sorry-ass commissioner. Sorry for my language. But, but help me understand, Patrick. Am I missing something here?
Honestly, I'm missing something here. I mean, look, I'm a huge baseball fan. And dude, there's no gray area in baseball, you know. I mean, baseball. When you fail a drug test, MLB has a list, everything broken right down. This is what you cannot take. Anything that's going to give you X amount of whatever. This is what it is. This is how it is. NFL, man, there's really, I mean, I guess there's a list, but then it's like, oh, well, this is close to it. This is on there. Too much of a gray area, like you were saying. I wanted to start there because the gray area to me, NFL doesn't have it broken down. MLB has everything fixed, but I mean, MLB was going through all of that stuff years ago where they had to have it broken down. NBA hasn't really faced anything with PEDs. So they are probably on a little bit more on this end of the spectrum than MLB, who is way over here. But honestly, when you appeal something like this, I haven't understood why you appeal anything. I mean, if your PP is a little cloudy, your PP is a little cloudy. It's cloudy. I don't know what to tell you. You failed a drug test. There is no false positives. If you are taking this and your PP is a little cloudy, you failed a drug test. Why are you appealing anything? I haven't understood that either. I thought about this today when I heard about it, and I was asking myself the same question. Like, why appeal anything? All the baseball players, when they go through, I did not take any of those. Unless you're Ryan Braun, then it's like, I didn't take any of those. Well, you failed. I took this. You loser. If I don't understand the appeal either. I really don't. I mean, take your 4-game suspension and be lucky you're not getting kicked out. Because I mean, honestly, Charles, I'll say it. I've said this many times about PEDs across the leagues, whether it be MLB, whether it be NFL, whatever. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. If you pop positive for anything that is drugs related to your work, if I do anything drugs related to my work, guess what we're at?
We're out.
We're out. There's nothing. I mean, you're gonna have to make an example because these people can say, "Oh, well, I can take drugs until I get caught the 5th time, and then I might be expelled from the Hall of Fame." You still with a job. I don't appeal it. Just take your 4-game suspension, stop worrying about it, and get back on the field and pop your PEDs later. That's what you're going to do anyway.
I'm not understanding the appeal because we talk about the gray area with the NFL, and I'm willing to throw a bet out there. The NFL, they're probably really vague with what you can take anyway, because of just everything else that goes on. The NFL is very vague with everything. They're fence riders. They really don't want to jump on one side or the other on whatever social issue that's going on or whatever it is that's going on. Also, with the NFL, you don't the players unions. So I noticed in the NBA, since we're talking about the leagues here, the NBA and the players union generally have a pretty good relationship. MLBs might not be on the level of the NBAs, but they work together. It's a working relationship. The NFL and their players union, they hate each other. It is a awful relationship, a terrible relationship. They are always fighting about stuff. Could be stupid stuff, but they're always fighting. And the players and the owners are always at each other's throats. It's a terrible, I'm gonna call it toxic. It's a toxic relationship they have. And so when it comes to stuff like a performance enhancing drug policy, I can see the NFL putting this out there, and I'm not excusing Julian Edelman. At the end of the day, Patrick, that is your responsibility to know what you're putting in your body.
Absolutely.
But if he's throwing the appeal out there, a part of me does say, a small part, 10%, but a small, yeah, but a small part of me says I can see the appeal because the NFL is probably really vague with it. So I can see him saying what exactly was on that list, huh?
And they may not know how to enforce it. And if they don't know how to enforce it, he'll be out there on game 1. And if it lasts long enough, the same thing could happen to him that happened to Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, just keep pushing it off, play for the season. Yeah. Yeah, and see, that's another thing. Tom Brady played for a full season after he was suspended for that idiotic deflate gate, and Ezekiel Elliott played half of the season, going through these court battles, having injunctions filed, and getting everything pushed back before I guess he finally said, "All right, man, enough's enough. I'll go ahead and serve it." So I just said, man, that relationship between the NFL and the NFLPA, the Players Association, excuse me, garbage. It is a very toxic and poisonous relationship, and I don't see it getting any better as long as Roger Goodell's in office, and as long as the dude DeMaurice Smith, who's running the NFLPA, when he talks, he sounds dumb. He does. He just when I hear him talk, I'm just thinking in my head, how did he get this position?
I say the same thing about Ryan
Colangelo. Stop. And so he and then I go back to myself and say, well, goodness, he did negotiate that horrible collective bargaining agreement back in 2011 that gave Roger Goodell executive power to make disciplinary decisions. Can you get any dumber? I mean, that can't happen. So the Players Association really, they can't do anything. Can't do nothing. So when they go through and they try to appeal, they try to file a grievance for these guys. For what? Y'all the ones who wrote this collective bargaining agreement. Y'all agreed to this. Grievance my ass. There ain't no grievance. You need to sit there and just take it, man, because you're the one who negotiated this. And as much as I can't stand Roger Goodell, it's the collective bargaining agreement that enables him to do this. So make the bed. You lay in it, just like you said with the ball. So this is how I feel about that, man. Do you have anything else to add before we move on to Bryan Colangelo?
If I get on Roger Goodell, we'll be here all night.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on, man, and we'll talk about the Philadelphia 76ers president, or I guess former president, Bryan Colangelo, resigned today. So he resigned based off of the scandal involving him throwing out medical information, and I guess this was some pretty private medical information against some of the players, such as Joel Embiid, such as Markelle Fultz. I think there's something in there about Jahlil Okafor, who of course isn't even on the team anymore. But look, my question is this, Patrick. I said this last week on the webcast. Why make a fake Twitter account? Why are we? You're the GM.
Let's ask Kevin Durant.
Say that again. So
let's ask Kevin Durant. Let's bring Kevin Durant on the show. Put him under fire.
Why does anybody
go 9 for 15 from the field on the court? Bring his ass on here and see if he goes 9 for 15. Twitter, fake Twitter accounts. Stupid.
So why does anybody make a fake Twitter account? These people talk all this mess about their business, about being big and bad, but yet they yeah, and they create or excuse me, what's the new word? Burner accounts.
Yeah, burner accounts. Well, basically, what it is behind the keyboard, he has the power to say anything and everything he wants to do without any consequence.
It's so trash. I don't know. I mean, why? But why? Why would you feel the need to have to even create a fake Twitter account? You are the GM of an NBA team. You're at a very highly respected position, or president, or whatever the fancy title is. Maybe it's vice president of basketball operations or some crap. I don't know. But I think he's the president.
Hey, John Elway, don't go making places. Don't go making positions in an organization.
All right. Sorry, man. Sorry.
because we John Elway.
You know, there's all these fancy titles about it anyway. But I don't get it. I don't understand. And honestly, Patrick, it was probably time for him to go because now this is an issue of trust. And if you have medical information that is supposed to stay confidential, you're president of the team. You don't expect him to throw this stuff out here on burner accounts. That he pretty much had to go. Even if it was proven that he didn't do it. I know there was a report out there saying it was his wife who set up the account or the accounts, and he didn't have anything to do with it. But even still, how dumb does that sound, right? And so, how dumb does that sound?
I can hear the conversation in his house now. Honey, just blame it on me. I made your Twitter account. Bunch of idiots, man. See, this is my problem with fake Twitter accounts. You make a fake Twitter account because you want to say something. You want to say something on Twitter because something has to be said. So you make a burner account. There's moral there before you make this Twitter account because you know whatever you're fixing to put should not be said. But you're going to make one, Kevin Durant. Not saying any names, Durant. You're going to make a burner account, Durant.
Colangelo too, apparently.
Colangelo. To say something that doesn't need to be said, that you know you're going to have to answer for because it is the 21st century and there is some really, really, really good hackers out there. I'm going to say this again. Really, really, really good hackers that can find out that your burner account came from a certain IP address. And if it comes from a certain IP address, that means we can trace you down to your house. Somebody can trace you down to your house. Let me rephrase that. Somebody can trace you down to your house, down to your router, which is your gateway, into your network. But you want to make a burner account.
I just love the fancy name, burner account. Give me a break.
So I'm wondering to myself, how effing stupid could you possibly be, Kevin Durant? Really?
Right,
and how stupid can you be? You make millions of dollars. Millions, all right?
Upon millions.
Upon millions, upon millions, upon millions. Pay somebody $100,000 a year to keep your stupid ass in check. Because you're idiots. Somebody's going to find out. Kevin Durant. Somebody will find out. You effing moron. I'm done.
Well, all right. And no, Patrick, because I mean, I really don't have too much more to add to that. I feel the same way.
I even broke it down to you for an IP address.
I mean, the fact that has to be created, that tells you, to me, it's cowardly.
Yeah.
It's really soft. It's really cowardly. You're going to say this stuff and you're going to talk all this mess, but you can't put your name to it. You have to create a fake account to go ahead and clap back at some haters or put together or put out some information that probably shouldn't be put out. That's cowardly. That's really BA-ish. And you could put the words together yourself if you want to. But
you know what's funny about this, Charles? You're saying it's a coward. I'm calling him a moron. You're calling him a more harsh name than I could ever call him being a coward. Because that's what he is. He's a coward. Anybody that wants to think that this is okay, you're a coward. You're absolutely right. That's a better word than calling him a moron. Because if you can't put your name to it, don't say it.
And exactly, that's the biggest thing. You're talking all this mess about people and putting out all this information about people, and you can't even have the stones to put your name by it. Or you're going to play the anonymous card, or you're going to play the unnamed source card. Give me a break, man. Wow. I just never understood that. And it's the same people who always say they're about their business. They don't hear anything.
Real.
Right. We keep it real. And they don't fear anybody.
But I'm gonna make this burner account real quick, like, so nobody knows that I'm actually a big pussy. Sorry, dude. It is these people get on my nerves.
Yes. No, I understand it. Yeah, and yeah, it's definitely something that, I mean, it's upsetting. It's really upsetting
for you.
Yes.
You got that disclaimer ready?
It will be. Yes, don't worry about it. I was already thinking about it. Don't even worry about it, man. It's good. We all right.
Cool.
The last topic for tonight, Patrick, because I know both of us are tired. How about Terrell Owens? I guess he's saying he's not going to go, or he declined the invite to come to the Hall of Fame ceremony. Now, my question about this is this even newsworthy? I mean, I guess I would have to look to see if there's anybody else who would decline the invitation to come to their Hall of Fame ceremony. But I mean, if he doesn't want to come, he doesn't want to come. I'm not going to necessarily crush him for it. I really haven't heard others' reaction to it. I just seen the report. He declined the invitation. So to me, just hearing the headline as it is, to me, it's not a big deal. If he wants to spend it somebody with his family members or somewhere else, I mean, it's Terrell Owens, so I'm sure he probably feels a little bit bitter for the fact this was his third time on the ballot. And to be real, if we're looking at the stats, he probably should have been in there on the first ballot. His stats say so. He's second or third on pretty much every other receiver category. But because he had teammate issues and he was chippy with the media, and this made him a bad teammate. And I think he got punished for that because he should have been first ballot, based off the numbers, I think. So, but to me, I don't think it's a big deal. He doesn't want to come. I mean, this is a special moment. I get it. This is something that only happens once for a few people. So I can understand that side as well, but I don't look at it as a big deal. And honestly, not a whole bunch of people like Terrell Owens. So if he did come up there, is it going to be cordial? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't really care. That was an easy topic, man. I appreciate that. I don't really care. Hey. I mean,
that's what I'm asking. Is it really? Yeah, like, is it really a big deal? If he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't. I'm here, dude. Who cares? Nobody cares. If he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go. If he wants to go, put on a tux and go. Whatever. I don't want to go. I don't want to go sip tea with the queen. I'm not gonna go sip tea with the queen. I don't want to go swimming. I ain't gonna go swimming. If I want to go swimming, I'll put on some swimming trunks. Who cares? Whatever. I mean, dude, that's an easy topic. We covered that in 3 minutes. Nice.
Hey, man, I told you, retired, man. Retired.
Okay. I mean, that to me, I don't see a problem with it. Whatever. If he don't want to go, he don't want to go. I want to play video games. I get up and go play video games. If I don't want to play video games, I stay in the chair.
Like I said it, I'll stay in the chair.
I mean, yeah, whatever. Don't want to go, don't go. Whatever. I mean, whatever.
Oh boy. On that note, we're gonna wrap it up. We thank y'all for joining us for this latest edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. Please go ahead, check it out, and leave some feedback. Feedback is strongly encouraged. And if you do leave that feedback, we will make sure to get back to you. Guaranteed on that.
Without burner accounts.
Without burner accounts. Our stuff is verified. Verified.
With our faces.
With our faces. I mean, yeah, we're out here. We're on camera, so you know we don't care. Kevin Durant. How are we hating on Kevin Durant so much? It's about Bryan Colangelo. Bryan Colangelo. Even though Kevin Durant did.
Bryan Colangelo.
There we go.
Ain't a punk. Bryan Colangelo. Me and my bald head all day long. Bryan Colangelo. No burner account. Punk.
So make sure you check it out. Check out this webcast. We are on Facebook and Google Plus, and we are still also, for the time being, on Twitter and LinkedIn. We do plan on getting this on Instagram soon enough. So, other than that, everybody have a good weekend, and we will be back next week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy whatever you're gonna do. Enjoy the sports. Well, gosh, I guess the sports is pretty much going to be baseball from here on out, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so
you know it's my time of the season now.
So, yep. And so that's what it is. It's all about baseball. Shoot, I'll be right there watching it too. So until next time, everybody. Yeah, women's basketball, and then they have the World Cup starting up. So we'll see how it goes. But until then, until next week, everybody enjoy the weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.